Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So we're back here for Newcastle versus Luton now. Hopefully we can get a result. I think we should. We have too much quality for them on paper. I know they've been on good form though, haven't they?
Yeah, 4-0 victory in midweek against a very good Brighton team, which was a big shock, and they've got a good record at home, Luton.
Yeah.
But I would hope, we should beat them, but it'll be interesting to see if Wilson's back. I doubt he will be. Will Isaac be on the bench?
Barnes will be on the bench, it looks like. So hopefully he can come on and produce something in the second half. But after that great result against Villa, I think we should hopefully we can score a couple of goals against them.
Fingers crossed. What do you think the score will be, Charlie?
Well, I'm going for 4-1 Newcastle.
Who are your goal scorers?
My goal scorers, I think Gordon, Dan Burn, Harvey Barnes, and
I think it's going to be 2-0 to Newcastle, and I'm going to say Anthony Gordon is going to get a brace. He's going to score 2 goals.
Hopefully you're right.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But it's going to be tough against Luton because they've got some very physical players. I mean, Adebayo, he's on form. I think he got a hat-trick against Brighton, if I'm right. But it's going to be tough.
They've got the likes of Andros Townsend, who used to play for
Ross
Newcastle
Barkley,
as well. Barkley,
so
experienced players, and they're getting up to speed now in the Premiership, and they're doing quite well. So they're above the relegation zone, which is amazing when you think about it.
I think when they were first promoted, a lot of people would say, well, the majority of people would just say, they would go straight down. But it really looks like they could be staying up with their fantastic home record. So I do wish all the best to Luton, but we should be able to beat them.
Fingers crossed for 3 points today.
full-time Newcastle 4, Aston Villa 4. Now, I don't even know what to say. That is probably going to be one of the best games in the Premier League this season. But what a game it was. I mean, first of all, I just wanted to say, Dad, fair play to Luton, because no one would have said 4-4, because, you know, a lot of people were saying, I said 4-1, I think my dad said 2-0.
Yeah.
No one really expected Luton to score as many goals as they did. So I just wanted to say, give some credit to Luton, because they played really well, didn't they?
They did well. I mean, they hit us on the break a few times. The equaliser they got was a well-worked set piece where it was put to the back stick. He headed it back across. But it was just really disappointing. It was good that we came back from 4-2 down. We showed character. But, you know, it was just, again, I thought, Howe should have made his substitutions a bit earlier. He should have. Byrne did well in the first half against their right winger, but then in the second half he was struggling. And you know, Livramento gives with that pace, and it was just it was crying out for him to come on. And you know, Harvey Barnes came on and scored a great goal. He made a difference, but Harvey Barnes scored a good goal as well.
One thing I want to criticise is Eddie Howe always waits. He's done this many times this season. He always waits until he's not being reactive, if that's the right word. He always waits until, you know, after they've scored to bring the players on, when he could see that Luton were growing into the game. And I think at that point, he should have brought on Livramento and Barnes, who, like my dad said, I totally agree, massively made a difference. And I do feel sorry for Dan Burn, because I don't think he was too bad in the first half. But then in the second half, unfortunately, Luton hit us on the break with pace. But what an incredible game it was.
Yeah, it was exhausting watching it, wasn't it? I mean, not for a Newcastle fan, but I thought, you know, at times we did really well in midfield. Bruno did some great things on the ball, some great passing, and he was good, and Gordon was good, and unfortunately he's been injured. He left the ground on crutches with a plastic cast on his foot, so that doesn't look good. Yeah. But at times they played through our midfield far too easily. You know, the cut were apart, were midfield, and they hit one on the break, and they caused problems, and we couldn't get back at them. And you know, Luton may stay in the league, but you know they are really like championship players, but they're doing really, really well.
I just want to say, to concede 4 goals against Luton at home is unacceptable. But you know, it is simple as that. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. They did deserve it, but to concede 4 goals is unacceptable.
You've got to hand it to Rob Edwards and the Luton players, because you know at the start of the season you would say they were nailed on for being relegated, but they've improved. They've got better. Barkley's got fitter. You know, the lad on the right, I don't know his name, but he was very, very good. They beat Brighton at home 4-0. So you know, good luck to them. They're doing well, but it's just, you know, you'd expect 3 points for Newcastle against Luton, and that
as well, I think there was a stat saying that Ross Barkley has, you know, scored against Newcastle so many times, which shows, you know, how much better he's got as well. And Luton have got some fantastic players who are great at scoring free kicks. You've got the likes of Andros Townsend. I know he wasn't playing, but Ross Barkley, he's fantastic at free kicks. So coming into the game, you knew that it was going to be a tough game, but it's just not really what we expected. I mean, we did well to come back, didn't we? Because we were 4-2 down and we managed to come back. Harvey Barnes, we've missed him. 2 great finishes.
Yeah, the plus points are that Wilson came on and he did make a difference with his physicality. Harvey Barnes scored a great goal. But their centre half number 2 was just he was constantly manhandling and pulling on Wilson, and the referee was really poor today. It took him about 20 minutes to realise what was going on before he started giving fouls. So, but you know, I thought a draw was a fair result.
To be fair, the referee was just sort of trying to let the game flow, but in the end, it didn't really work, because towards the end, you could see Luton were wasting a lot of time, and it was getting frustrating as Newcastle fans. But I mean, fair play to Luton. The fans were very loud.
At the end, though, Bruno turned the player on the left wing and he put a ball in with outside of his left foot. And I think it was Murphy at the back post, just missed it. I mean, the stadium would have erupted if that had went in. But
what a game. I mean, no one would have expected that. Imagine if someone put a bet on that game, they would have won so much money. But I don't really know how to feel. I think overall, if I could give you a verdict, I'm just going to say that I'm happy that we didn't lose. I'm happy that Newcastle managed to come back and didn't lose.
It's a game we wanted to win and we're disappointed we've lost it. But, you know, to come back from 4-2 is good, but it's a game we should still be winning, so you're disappointed, and that's just the way it was. But
I think as well, Luton might be becoming our bogey team because we got beat off their place and then we've got beat off them again. So that's 2 losses against Luton, but we'll actually play Nottingham Forest next away, so that's gonna be a tough game.
But let us know what you thought of the game. How did you think, who was the best player for Newcastle?
On the game, honestly, just give us your thoughts, because what a crazy game this was. The penalty as well. Touch on the penalty. I think it was a penalty. Dan Burn pulled. I'm not sure who it was, but Dan Burn pulled their right winger, which I think was a penalty. But they take so long to check.
They took long to check, didn't they? But disappointing overall, I'd say.
Luton are a very physical team, aren't they? We knew coming into the game that we're going to annoy Newcastle and frustrate us, and they certainly did. Like I said before, they were wasting time. But this game surely is going to go down as a game that we will probably remember for quite a while, because it was a fantastic game. But I'm just glad
not for Newcastle it wasn't.
Well, for the average football fan, it was a fantastic game. But for a Newcastle fan, it wasn't great. But just pleased that we didn't manage to bottle the game. But I think there does need to be some questions asked about the manager, and some potentially, putting them subs on earlier, I think could have changed the game. But I'm not really sure what I think.
Yeah, but just remember to give this video a like, and remember, if you haven't subscribed, it just helps with to grow the channel. Disappointing today, but we came back from 4-2 down to get a draw, but we would have wanted a victory, wouldn't we? So
I mean, at the game, it was just completely chaotic. Constantly, emotions were running high. There was constantly things happening.
It was end-to-end, wasn't it?
We scored, they scored again, but like I said, I want to give credit to them, because no one ever could have predicted this. I saw a lot of Newcastle fans on social media predicted, 4-1, 3-1, 2-0. So for Luton to fight like they did was really good. But I think Miley didn't have the greatest game.
He did all right. I think he's in and out of the game. He's in the game for 10-15 minutes, and then you don't notice him much. But good for Sean Longstaff. Took his goals well. Well done to Longstaff. But
Bruno, I think, wasn't great.
I thought he was really good in parts, but in parts, they were cutting through in midfield far too easily.
Wilson, when he came on, I thought he looked good, but it was just Luton's players, like we said, were constantly pulling. And like you said, the referee eventually gave him a yellow card, and Trippier played well as well.
Trippier played very well.
Dubravka was...
good goal by Trippier.
Couldn't really do much about the goals that Luton scored. But make sure to subscribe, guys. Hit that like button as well. Turn on your notification bell as well, so you know whenever we post. What were your thoughts on that crazy game? I'm sure that will, I think we'll try and forget about it, but I'm sure that will be remembered as well. But just what are your thoughts on that game? And
we'll see you in the next video.
Make sure to subscribe as well. I hope you enjoyed this matchday video. It was nice meeting Dan Ashworth.
Yeah, it was good to meet Dan Ashworth and have a chat about players as well. That was good.
And we thought we saw Deck as well.
Yeah, we saw Deck as well, but we never managed to get any footage of him, unfortunately.
We didn't manage to meet him, and we actually spoke to Dan Ashworth, and you recommended
it was Ant we saw, not Deck. It was Dan.
No, Deck.
We're getting mixed up.
You actually spoke to Dan Ashworth and recommended him this player from Las Palmas, didn't you?
Yeah, and he said he would go over and watch him and get some winter sunshine. He asked how old he was, so that was interesting.
And I recommended him signing Rafael Leao, which of course, he's a fantastic player. But guys, just let us know your thoughts. I want you guys to get your comments in, get your thoughts down below. Ross Barkley scoring again against Newcastle. What are we going to do in our next game against Nottingham Forest? Get your thoughts down below. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Take care. Bye.